Welcome to the Makeshift podcast. This is episode number 11. We have a somewhat packed agenda today. It's fresh, it's new. We just came up with it. That's how we do things here. Brian, let's kick it right off.
We're out here and something different. I'm wearing a hat today. Zach is not wearing a hat today. Usually it's the swapped feeling. Let's start off with some Euphoria talk. Euphoria just ended the season finale. We both watch it. It's the second most watched show on HBO and HBO Max since Game of Thrones, which is pretty crazy.
Overrated Game of Thrones, and also Euphoria slightly overrated, but we'll get into that later. What you think of the finale?
I thought it was fitting. I thought it was good. I was upset. Are we throwing spoilers out there?
I wouldn't spoil, but the internet already spoils everything, and anybody who's listening, just cover your ears.
I'll beat around it, so I won't fully spoil it. I thought it was great. I thought it was very fitting. It fit each character very well, if that makes sense. But I kind of hate Euphoria right now because I hate those shows that make you wait 2 years for another season. That's the worst kind of show.
Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, when's it coming out? Like 2024 is the next? It's like, did they not film it? Like, did you not expect to film another season? Like, what's going on here that we got to wait that long? We're going to forget about it. When it comes back, it'll be big hype. But I don't know.
It's ridiculous. Some I forgot what other show it was. I think it was actually Game of Thrones that made you wait actually 3 years for the final season, which I actually watched and it wasn't super fantastic. But you wait 3 whole years just for 10 episodes of, I don't know. I think that's ridiculous.
Euphoria it's 8 episodes too. It's not even like you're getting a full 3 months out of the show. You're getting basically 2 months.
I know, and it's not even like Game of Thrones where you have to CGI dragons and go to these extreme places to film. You're filming in a high school, which is basically probably a studio most of the time, and you could probably bang it out in 6 months, the whole season.
You know what's crazy is Breaking Bad. Obviously, I know a lot about. You got the poster back here or drawing that I did, but they would go into season 4. They wrote season 4. They have everything out, and then the show would premiere, and they're like, all right, back to the writers' room. They write the season without I guess they have an idea. They probably brainstorm a little bit, but they don't write it until the season's over. So maybe they're doing that with Euphoria. Maybe they don't know which direction they want to go. They need to get the people back.
But maybe they get the feedback.
Two full years though. I mean, again, we're not going to spoil the show, but there was a death of someone on the show that I thought that scene was really good. I thought the rest of the show kind of underwhelming to me. I don't know.
I mean, the whole show is, I think that whole, I don't want to say who it is, but that whole part of the show that you said you like the scene of, it attracts the male audience and it attracts a lot of people because it's a lot like other shows that we like. And then the rest of it is kind of just high school drama. Yeah, that might have spoiled everything for everyone, but it is what it is.
I had a good question. I forgot it. It was on the tip of my tongue. It was about Euphoria. No, I lost it. That's fine. All right. It'll come back in a few minutes.
That's okay. Yeah. So bittersweet ending. I love the show though. It's a great show. All right, let's move into some sports here. Steph Curry warm-up routine, probably one of the most crazy things I've ever seen in warm-ups or in basketball in my entire life.
I think Steph Curry warming up and playing basketball is one of the most entertaining things in the NBA. I think every single time they warm up and you have to get to the stadium early if the Warriors are playing. Because he's
I compare that to? I compare it to OBJ because that's exactly what people did. That's what I did when I saw OBJ play once or twice. And I went into the stadium. I stopped tailgating for a whole hour. And you only tailgate for 4 hours? That's a fourth of my tailgate just to go sit
only
there,
4 hours
front row just to watch OBJ make those catches. And I think it's the same thing. I would do the same thing if I ever went to go see Steph Curry play.
I'll take it even further. I'll get to the ballpark early. I'll see Pete Alonso take batting practice. I'll go that far. I'm like these high power guys. What other sports are there? Hockey. I feel like hockey, you can't really have a player do that unless they're doing crazy stuff.
Actually, you could go early because in warmups they do flick some pucks out. Give some pucks to the crowd. So that might not be a bad idea. But yeah, Steph Curry, I think the most impressive part with the Steph Curry thing is that he made all those shots, but he didn't hit the rim once.
Yeah, just perfect swishes every single time.
That's insane.
Unbelievable. How many shots do you think you can make a row? How many free throws in a row do you think you can make?
Free throws?
Free throws. I give you an hour.
My max?
I give you an hour.
and I hit like as many in a row as I can.
Yep.
I think max I could probably get to like 15.
15. Yeah.
Max. That's pushing it too.
You know me. I was a 41% shooter in high school.
I was the best. I had the best free throw percentage, 70%, which isn't even that great.
That's pretty solid, dude. It's like RJ Barrett shoots like 70% from the line. Like, give yourself some credit.
Yeah. I mean, I'll take it.
I think I could pull off a little stretch, and I could probably get like 10. But
yeah, I would say 10's a good number. 10's a fair number that I think that both me and you can get to.
I want to strive and say like 20, like, if I found like an hour's a long time and you're doing the same motion over and over. So like, but I'm going to lose it for a little bit. I'm going to miss like 10 in a row. Like I could tell you I'll miss 10 in a row, at least at one point.
Yeah. That's not hard to do. I think I can miss 100 in a row.
I'm going to get in my head and everything. It's going to be awful.
All right, let's talk about your New York Knicks.
Yeah.
Your amazing, fantastic playoff projected preseason New York Knicks.
Dude, I put them in that podcast that we said. I threw them.
Did you say like 4?
I was like best case like a 4 seed, and like worst case like 8 or 9, and they're just horrific. They're sliding, and I'm at the point where I'm at the tip of the season. They're like 9 or 10, 11 games under. Just tank the season.
What are they? What seed are they right now? Like 11?
They're like 11, and they're like 3.5 games out maybe from like a play-in spot. I don't want the play-in spot. I want a lottery pick. Yeah. I want somebody that's going to make an impact, make a change, give yourself a chance.
That's like the Dolphins too. That's like your whole brand. You just play for the 10, 11 seed or the 8 and 8 team in football, and you just ride it out. And you don't get better, you don't get worse.
Well, the Knicks got RJ Barrett with the 3rd pick that one year. So like they've tanked before, but like they didn't tank enough.
I think that you guys banked on Julius Randle being a star, and he's just not having that season this year. Yeah. But I mean, he's a great player, but it just doesn't seem like he's a star franchise player. But it is what it is.
You know who's going off though is RJ Barrett. He's averaging
he has been playing well. I've heard.
In his last 5 games, he's averaging like 33 points per game. He had a 48-point night. He's shooting like 48% from the field, 41% from 3.
Gets an eye on in New York.
I know. Well, I don't like the narrative, though, that everybody's like, oh, one thing that's certain out of this Knicks season, you have to build around RJ Barrett. I was like, first of all, I don't want supporting pieces around RJ Barrett. I want RJ Barrett to be my number 2 because he's a really solid number 2. If you had someone that could, create a little bit more, dish out like Julius Randle's doing, but you need a solid wing, a number 3 that comes out, and the Knicks need a point guard. They've always needed a point guard.
You need a 1, 2, or 3 to carry that team because you do have good. You have Mitchell Robinson, you have Julius Randle, you have RJ Barrett, which they're all. I know that some of them are guard-ish, but they're mostly big forwards, big like a center.
Dude, Alec.
If you had like a Steph or like even like a Kyrie or a Ja or anyone Trey, it would be a totally different team in New York.
Can you imagine Ja Morant in New York? That's who we missed out on, and we got. I think Barrett was that draft. I'm fine. I'm fine with RJ Barrett, but Ja Morant would have been. You saw that shot that he hit at the.
Did you see his whole game? That game?
Yeah, there was like 5 or 6 highlights that game. That was just
insane highlights. Yeah, he's nuts.
But I don't know. The Knicks. Listen, Julius Randle's going to have a bounce back year next year. RJ Barrett's going to have. He's going to continue to progress. At the beginning, I wanted RJ Barrett, worst case, to be Andrew Wiggins. I was like, I would be satisfied.
Wiggins
with
is
that.
Great now.
And Wiggins is playing well. He's finally like 8 years in the league or something. RJ Barrett's in his 3rd year, going on 4. He'll be good.
Yeah, I mean so the Knicks are around that seed, like where you're almost in the playoffs, and it's scary to say, but the Nets are too.
Yeah, what happened?
And I don't think that Nets fans are worried, because like you look at their roster for literally half the season when they started their decline, you have no Kevin Durant, you have no Kyrie Irving, you have no Joe Harris, you have no Ben Simmons now, you didn't have James Harden for a while, and it's literally just a bunch of role players. And now they picked up Goran Dragic. They got Andre Drummond. They got Seth Curry, and now they're competing again. And KD is back. By the time we're filming this, he's back tonight. They're playing against the Heat. The Heat. So we'll see what happens. He might turn it around. I mean, he is a complete game changer. Like if you have KD, your team's just a different team.
Yeah, you're automatically going to be in contention. But I mean, the bigger question is, first of all, I'm all for Kyrie Irving playing whenever. I think it's the fact that visiting players can come in unvaccinated and play, and Kyrie can't play in his home stadium. I mean, the Nets are going to be in great shape if they have Kyrie, KD, and the rest of that roster. They're going to be a solid team. How far do you think they could go?
It depends on everything. Now there's rumors saying Ben Simmons might not be back, and Ben Simmons is a big piece. I know he didn't play the whole season, but it really depends on staying healthy. I'm not going to put a number on it because I always say they're going to go to the championship, or not always. They've only been in contention 2 years, but like I always say they're going to go farther than they will. And then someone gets hurt and they're so injury prone, and there's the whole COVID thing, and it's just a whole mess. I don't know. I think that their ceiling is winning the championship.
Yeah.
Their floor is literally a first round exit. If they get that play-in game and they win the play-in game, and then they play the 1 seed, they play the Heat or the Bucks or the Bulls, they could realistically lose first round.
I can't believe the Heat. When I saw that they were in first place like last week, I think they're still in first place. I was in shock. I was like, they just they just strike me as like, even like they're a great team. Don't get me wrong, but they strike me as like a 3, 4, 5 seed. I wouldn't expect them to be one. I was expecting to see the Bucks up there or
well, I mean, you think about the roster, they have 4 potential all-stars. They have Lowry, they have Bam, they have Jimmy, they have Tyler Hero, and they have 3 potential all-stars.
Yeah.
I forgot who the last one was.
And then the Cavaliers, have I not been paying attention?
That's the shocking one.
They're like a 3 or 4 seed.
That is the shocking one. I never saw that coming. It's like Colin Sexton, and then who's their rookie that the Kevin Love's playing great again?
Darius Garland.
Yeah, and then they have Jared Allen too, which is a borderline all-star this season.
It's fun. It's because I look at that roster and then I look at the Knicks roster and I'm just like, the talent seems similar. Like, I don't know. And then, but the records is so different. I don't know if it's coaching. I don't know if it's just that. Like, I look at the Knicks roster. I like their team. I don't dislike it. They need maybe one more, they need someone better than Julius Randle to be their one. But I mean, they were competing in games and now they're just in tank mode and they're sliding, and it's sad to watch. I'm gonna cry over here.
He's gonna cry. Yeah, so I think that the Nets could win it if everyone's healthy. Everyone stays healthy, no COVID issues, whatever. But they could also lose in the first round. I would not be surprised if they weren't healthy.
Who do you think? That's the question. That we all want to hear. Is out of that trade, and I think your opinion differs from mine. Who do you think won, the Nets or the Sixers?
I can't even I'm saying personally the Nets because I don't like James Harden that much. I think he's a cancer to a team. And I think he's playing great in Philly, but it's only been 4 games, but he's playing fantastic. He's playing out of his mind. Him and Joel are doing great things, but I highly doubt that they make it to the championship because I don't see him. I don't see them succeeding with James Harden. His whole record of his past has been losing, even when he's been around superstars. But you also the Sixers won the trade right now because Ben Simmons isn't healthy. I mean, Seth Curry and Drummond are playing really, really well. Seth Curry's averaging 20. Drummond's averaging
I love Seth. I've always loved Seth Curry. Like back when he was first in the league, and I used him in every video game.
He's great. He plays just like Steph too. It's nuts.
Yeah, it's really fun to watch.
But yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
I think we'll see. I know when the trade initially happened, the reaction, everybody, was quick to say the Sixers won the trade. But then Nets fans were saying that the Nets won. They're like, no, I'm happy with this. Get James Harden out. We got draft picks. If I'm the Nets, I mean, those draft picks are going to be in the 20s probably. I don't think it's that changing, but you could still get lucky with the pick.
Hey, we got Cam Thomas, I think 27th overall. He's going to be a star. He's been playing out of his mind. He's been averaging 22 points in the past 10 games or something like that.
Which is crazy. It's where do these people come from? It's but you give them an opportunity and all of a sudden they become,
Apparently Kevin Durant was the one who told the coach to draft Cam Thomas too. So
there you go. That's a team player. But I think if you're the Sixers, you always fall short because you were missing maybe a piece, or you're just, the chemistry wasn't great. I don't know. I like taking the risk if you're the Sixers. You know, you already had a great team, and now you're adding James Harden, a top 5 player in the league, probably. I
Yeah,
mean, we'll see
I
where
think
it
he
ends up
fits
in the
well in
playoffs.
Philly.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it ends up in the playoffs. I mean, I could totally see him exiting like second round and
Yeah,
everybody having the same conversation over again, saying James Harden's a cancer. He can't play with other players. He'll get the Russell Westbrook treatment.
yeah. And this is like his perfect situation where it's him and a big.
Yeah,
It's not him and a forward. It's not him and a guard. And I mean, if he makes it, he makes it. If it works out, whatever. If it doesn't, I wouldn't be surprised.
yeah. So I guess time will tell, and we will see. But talking about
All
that,
right.
so the Knicks, right? Obviously sad. I'd love to talk about my Mets, but baseball's locked out, and I'm pissed about it. I'm not happy.
Yeah, there's been no progress whatsoever. So I don't, and spring training is supposed to start like now, right?
Yeah, it was supposed to start like 4 days ago. They just canceled the first 2 series of the season.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
we're not going to have baseball, I'm guessing, until at least June, if nothing gets done within the next few days. I just think they're going to hold out. Um, I just don't understand. Like, if you're compromising, like if you and I had a fight and we're
mhm,
compromising for like how we like do whatever, we would talk every day about it.
mhm.
We probably figure it out and we talk for hours, but the owners just don't want to do that with the players. They're having meetings that are like 30 minutes long, 90 minutes long. They wait till the last possible second to start negotiating. And all of a sudden it's like, yeah, the season's going to be delayed. And of course, this makes me so angry. Mets have two of the best pitchers in baseball, Max Scherzer and Jacob
Yeah,
DeGrom. Opening day was supposed to be historic, and it's just being pushed back in typical Mets fashion. You sign a big guy, can't even play yet.
yeah. That's. It sounds just like a Mets storyline. To be honest, it sounds like the Mets' whole life.
And I hate to make it about me because, you know, as a Mets fan, it's more about baseball. I mean, you know, this time of year, pitchers and catchers report. You get a lot of people just getting excited. It's like a sign that spring's coming. That's the bigger picture. But let's be selfish here for a second. The Mets are supposed to be good this year. They're supposed to be pretty good.
They
They're
are.
supposed to be pretty good every year. So
They
we'll
are.
see what happens when the season actually does start, and maybe it'll be helpful to them that you know those guys don't have to throw as many innings. I don't know. We'll see how it
Yeah.
pans out.
Another thing, since the NBA All Star Game just ended, I think that the MLB has the best All Star Game in all of sports, as well as the Home Run Derby is probably the most entertaining like skills competition out of any of the sports.
You know why? Because it
They play for something, no?
yeah, and it just replicates the game that we actually like watching the most. I mean,
Well,
they used to play for a playoff series, like who got home field advantage in the World Series. They don't do that anymore, but I think there's like bonuses and stuff. And you can't like fake baseball. Like you can't take
yeah,
it easy in baseball.
that's what I was gonna say. You can't fake hitting a 100-mile-an-hour fastball down the middle.
Exactly. It's like these guys want to go out there, they want to be impressive, and they want to show
Yeah,
off. I mean, a lot of guys in these smaller towns, that's a big stage for them because people actually do
yeah,
watch that All-Star game. You're right. It's the best one in sports for sure.
I agree. I agree. I also think that baseball might be the hardest sport.
Do you have
Um,
a random question? See, this is what we do here. Dunk contest was horrible.
yeah, it was terrible.
It's terrible. Obi Toppin represent, but I mean, it was horrific. Do you have any like off the cuff solutions to the dunk contest? Do you want to like see a certain thing
So
next year?
I actually was talking to Alex about this, and he had a fantastic idea that I thought would be insane. You get all the best dunkers. You get like 5 of the best dunkers. It's team dunkers versus team shot blockers, and you go up and you get a running start, and you make it a poster contest.
Oh, I did see
And
this.
I'm giving him full credit because he said it. It wasn't my idea, but I'm all here for it, and I think that would be all. Like imagine Ja Morant starting at the 3-point line, and you have Jared Allen down low, and you say go, and they just either he gets swatted or he gets yammed on.
Definitely not the safest thing,
No, not at
but
all.
but it would be pretty entertaining. I mean, at least maybe not the full thing, maybe like a portion of it, right? Like
Yeah,
maybe you could do the trick style dunks. So when the cool dunks come out, they're cool. They're you know they're fun. But I just don't like the people missing all the time. And it's like, all right, like now you're watching, you're like, this is their 8th try, 9th try. Like you can't have that on a dunk
well,
contest.
the
Like
thing is that these players are so caught up with working on their craft all day, working about basketball. And there's actually professional dunkers out there that we see online, which they do like the crazy like dunks like this and the 360 double between the legs. There's the ones that bounce on the ground and then it goes behind your back. These crazy dunks, but that's all they do. They go into dunk competitions. So maybe we just get those dunkers and they come to the NBA and maybe they coach up some of the players for a weekend before, because apparently they only take like an hour of their day. They coming up with they take one whole practice coming up with these dunks, and then it's a no show of a dunk contest.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I would love to. I mean, those dunkers online, they're absolutely ridiculous, and they're so much fun and entertaining to watch. I just think that there was like no showmanship either.
I know.
It's like there was like bring out a car, jump over
Blake Griffin,
a celebrity. Yeah, like do something more fun.
I think the dunk contest should just be Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon every single year. Just them two. I'd
be fine with that. I wanted, it's a shame that LeBron never did it because I would have loved to see him compete in it. I was like, but like he was always too good for it.
Nuts.
And then I also kind of want to see Zion if he ever comes back and, is healthy and light enough that he could get off the ground and do some ridiculous dunks.
Yeah.
But I guess
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Is the era of, okay, I don't know how to word this. I have to figure out how to word this. Video games. When was the last time that a really good video game that took over social media and like took over the world and you played it all the time came out? Because I feel like that just doesn't really happen anymore ever since maybe Fortnite.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely Fortnite had to be the last one. But if I had a date before that, I'm going like Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 might have been the last one, or
Black Ops. That was a long time ago.
Or like Black Ops, Black Ops 2 and 3. They didn't have the same community of people. No, you're right. It doesn't happen. Actually, my roommate, Johnny just bought Elden Ring. Elden Ring. You ever hear of it?
Yeah.
It's like, you ever hear of Dark Souls?
Yes.
Yes. So it's like not a sequel to that, but it's the same people that make it. It's like a very complicated game. It's extremely difficult and hard. We've been watching it. It's, it's just not that, you don't know where you're going in the game. You don't know what you're doing. And it's like, yes, it's extremely difficult. And the people that do their research enjoy it. But like, we're just watching. It was like, what's going on? What's the story? You're like, I don't know. I'm just walking around fighting people and trying to get better.
Yeah. I don't know. That just was a random thought, because I thought that the next one that will take over the world is another repeat one, and it's going to be GTA when it comes out eventually. Dude, I think that'll take over, but
I don't understand how GTA like online. I was just talking to Matt about this yesterday. GTA online is like still huge. Like people play it.
Yeah, I think that's a big reason why they haven't come out with the next one, because they're still making loads of money off of GTA. What was it, 5?
Yeah. It's GTA like 5. It's like milk it as long as possible, and they keep coming out with new stuff online and new modes and new gameplay, and
there's so much hype now around it. Everyone's waiting for that one to come out.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be sick. I'm excited for it. But GTA is one of those that's when it comes out, everybody knows about it. So maybe GTA 5 was the last one. I really don't know.
Maybe. All right. Well, we have a big announcement. Zach, you want to take it?
Yeah, sure. Is it what I think it is?
Oh yeah, big time.
All right, we released merch online, a full catalog. So if you listen to the podcast, go to the makeshiftproject.com, because there's new stuff on there. We're out in some sizes just because of the way that we're doing it. Not everything's available, but everything's up to date on there. The prices I think are more reasonable than we had in the past. And I'm excited to say it, and I'll share it on the screen right now. If you're listening on YouTube and watching, I'll share some photos and stuff, but, we are really excited about it. We're going to have more designs come out in the future, and, it's just the start of the Makeshift store. So I did want to announce that and let people know about it, because, it's there. We just got to get people there to check it out.
Yes, sir. We got different colors. We got different designs. We got hoodies, crew necks, sweatpants, sweatshorts, other stuff, beanies, hats. We got it all.
Trucker hats, dad hats, beanies.
We got it all.
That's everything. So get after it. And if you guys have any, and if you have any ideas, DM us on Instagram or email us. We're open to taking designs. Like maybe you guys could design stuff that could be part of the brand.
Fact.
Why not?
Why not?
Why not? But yeah, that's that announcement.
That's a great announcement. All right. Well, that wraps it up for the podcast number 11.
No. You skipped
Does
one.
it?
You skipped something. I knew it. I knew you skipped something. It's a hypothetical question.
It's not even on here.
I wrote it. I put it. Yeah.
You're going to have to edit this.
No. It's fine. We're raw.
We don't edit.
We don't edit. If you're
Okay.
listening, we don't edit. This is proof.
Okay.
I want to know what the most useful kitchen utensil is.
The fork.
Plain and simple.
Yeah, I have no debate. It is the fork. You're wrong. It might be the spork if you consider that, but the fork.
I would probably say the spork because you can't eat soup with the fork.
I don't own a spork though, so I'm not considering that an everyday kitchen utensil unless you own a spork.
Okay, maybe it's a utensil. It's not a kitchen utensil.
It's more of a plastic one at food courts sometimes.
But we're talking about being able to use things for everything. You can't cut like a steak with a fork.
If you cook it right, you can.
Debatable. Like a fillet, like maybe, like very tender, and you could just cut right through it. But like,
what are you going to just use one knife and then stab the? I'm going fork.
I mean, you could use one knife, but also you can't eat soup with a knife or a fork. So is it the spoon?
I'm not eating soup though. I'm not a soup guy. So I think I would just use my fork to cut my things and then eat it. And then
you don't like any sort of soup?
I don't think so. I would eat even if I had ice cream, I would just use the fork.
What about What about matzo ball
I don't
soup?
like matzo ball soup. I don't eat any soup besides cereal, if you consider that
chicken noodle soup.
No, I don't eat soup. Period. I swear.
Italian wedding soup.
Oh, I do eat that.
Yeah, you do?
No, I don't eat that, Zach.
I was actually sold on it for a second. I was like, all right, I found one. Is cereal a soup? Are you ready to take a stance? It is?
Yeah, I would say yes.
Can you imagine waking up in the morning and going, somebody asks you, what's for breakfast? I'm going to have some soup. And you're like, soup? You're like, yeah, bowl of Honey Nut Cheerios with some milk.
I think that majority of things that go in bowls are soup. Ice cream soup, when it melts, is soup because it's in a bowl.
I don't know if I agree with that.
I don't know if I agree with myself either. But
I don't know what I would call it, though. If it just a liquid in a bowl.
I guess. I don't know. I haven't put much thought into this, but I would say a fork is the most. I think the fork is the most well-rounded. It's the Mario of kitchen utensils.
Oh,
yeah.
What a relation. All right. I mean, first of all, I agree. I think it's definitely a fork. I mean, you could you could drink the soup. You don't need to use the fork.
Yeah, that's true.
There you go. There's one. But if you are listening, you made it this deep into the podcast, leave a comment on the YouTube video. What's the most useful kitchen utensil? And are the Nets going to win the championship this year? And if not, who is?
Yeah, because the Nets are.
Yeah, we'll see about that. I got the Suns still. I'm taking the Suns all the way. I've been riding them all season. It's the feel good. It's the feel good story that
probably not a bad pick.
But I guess we'll have to wait and see. But now that wraps up the podcast.
All right, check us out on YouTube, Spotify. Now Discord. We're on Discord. Go check us out on Discord. We have multiple channels on there, and then everywhere else. We got Apple Music, Spotify, Twitter, our blog on our website, TikTok, Instagram. We're all over the globe, baby.
Yeah, everything's not full speed, but if you want to be there for the beginning, follow us on everything.
Fact.
All right. Well, that's a wrap.
Yes, sir. Makeshift to the moon, baby.